Hey guys, you may have already heard that we're having our first Doctrine and Devotion Conference March 11th in St. Charles, Illinois. The conference,
Bam!
What's it called?
Confessional Piety.
That's wow. Well, you say it like that, nobody's going to want to come.
they're
Confessional
gonna come.
Piety. Say Confessional Piety.
Oh, hey guys, Confessional Piety.
Confessional Piety is a conference that will explore the use, the value of confessions of faith, particularly the 1689, but of course it'll be relevant to everyone.
And the first 200 registrants,
they get free books. They get a journal that's imprinted with our logo for the conference. So there's going to be giveaways. There's going to be hangout. It's going to be a really good time. Head on over to doctrineanddevotion.com/conference. There you can register, and even if you can't make it, even if you can't, listen, some of you are coming from Texas. Some of you are coming from Michigan.
Yep. Some of you might come from Louisiana.
That's right. We're trying to get all of you guys up here. But if you can't make it, or if you're just not that dedicated, you can at least purchase the videos of the conference after the fact. So check it out, doctrineanddevotion.com/conference. Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast exploring Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, elder candidate at Redeemer Fellowship.
So I've been meaning to talk to you about something.
All right, let's do it.
We had our first fight.
Oh, why are we doing this?
We had our first fight.
Oh, stop it.
Now, we argue all the time.
We
argue all the time. Every
All the
day.
time.
There is no day.
Yes.
Right?
Every day we do
We're actually
argue.
agreeing right now. This is the only time we agree, is when we agree that we do argue a lot.
We do argue every day. This is true.
So we disagree, we argue a lot, but we had our first fight a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you bringing that up?
Well, because I want people to know that in real life, in real relationships, sometimes there's conflict, and you forgive. Like if one person is being a big baby about stuff, you got to forgive that person for being a great big baby.
Exactly. It took me a while to forgive the baby in this conflict.
No, you were the baby.
Actually,
you were easily the baby.
I was not the baby.
Oh, you were the baby. I was a jerk.
No, you were the jerk and the baby.
No, you were the baby.
No, you were being...
Jimmy was on the phone.
No, stop.
And oh my goodness.
Okay, we were arguing about...
I don't even remember.
I remember.
What were we arguing about?
Arguing about the conference and how about as far as how our...
some logistical thing.
Some
I remember
logistical
now.
aspect of it, right?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I got the answer. I've already figured it out. Just stop it.
And what I wanted Jimmy to do is I was like, you need to show me the work.
I don't need to show you the work.
I believed you. I said, I believe you.
But why do I have to show you the work?
Because I need to understand it for myself. You need to teach.
No, you don't, because you're dumb. I don't think you need to handle any of that. That's
and
why
you
we
would
don't
get
have you
butt
handle it.
hurt
That's why
about
I handle
So
it.
like,
No, it wasn't butt hurt. It was
That's why you had to apologize later because you were a big baby.
Okay, I apologize for you being a baby.
No, I don't think so.
I said, Joe, I'm really sorry. You can't handle things, is what I said.
Even though Jimmy was a baby and I was a jerk.
You were a big jerk, and I was
You
not
were a little
baby,
and I was a big jerk.
We don't really call it little baby, though, do we?
No, you're a big baby.
Anyway, see, he called me the big baby.
Baby Huey.
Baby Huey.
Listen.
Oh, what?
Google. What are we talking about today, man?
Friendships that end.
Okay,
That's
well.
what we're talking about. We have come to an end of an era. I no longer want to be with Joe. I am applying at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. I don't think they're going to take me.
I bet they have scholarships for people like you.
Wait, what does that mean?
I just think that there are probably some scholarships
Joe's got this look on
available.
his face. What do you mean? For people of a different persuasion?
Well, I wouldn't think of it as a persuasion. No.
Well, what would you look at it as?
Mental capacity?
What do you mean mental capacity?
You're a little Canadian, you're a little slow.
Anyways, no, we're not talking about friendships that end. We're talking about church planting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about church planting.
Church planting.
Now,
from the forefront,
yep.
I just want to make clear, I've never actually had experience church planting.
Oh, that's obvious.
Yeah, because I would have done things a lot different than you.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
No, I was going to do a callback to, remember, when I was first looking up Joe Thorne and my family was going to be moving here.
Yeah.
Remember I had mentioned about there was this one blog that hated
you to tell the story. Okay.
The one blog that hated you that said, Joe...
I preach the gospel to myself because I don't preach it to anybody else?
But then he also said later on, ask Joe about church planting, and then he crossed out planting and put splitting.
Which I've never done, for the record.
Exactly.
Okay. We're going to talk about...
No, I've never planted a church. Joe has.
Well, yeah, we're big believers in church planting, and we get a lot of requests for us to talk through church planting. And so we thought, yeah, let's just have a conversation about it. We don't really have a particular direction we want to go. We just want to explore it and share with you guys why it's on our hearts and how things work. Now, when we're talking about church planting, Jimmy, what is that? What is church planting?
What is church planting? Like,
yeah. Why do you repeat the question when you need time to think?
I'm trying to really kind of think through.
Okay.
Church planting, I mean, I feel like you should be answered that as the expert church planter.
Okay,
I would say
you give a dumb answer, and then I'll give a smart answer. Go.
I think in an ideal situation, it would be a group of individuals with a called leader that has been assessed and has the protection, backing, and accountability of an already established local church and leadership team to go and plant a church in another area to the praise and glory of God.
Padow.
Padow.
I can't improve on that.
That's right.
That's good.
That was good. That's why I'm the fofo. Maybe MBTS will take me.
Okay. Well, okay. They know it's a quote.
All I know
they have
is
to have
Jared
so many
Wilson,
of you.
maybe he'll give me a good recommendation.
Yeah, that's what church planting is, right? And I like that you put all of those qualifiers in there, because today, when a lot of people go out to plant churches,
they do it on their own.
They
it's
just
kind of
like, hey,
it's like here, I have my Bible,
yeah.
and I have 4 walls.
I don't even need 4 walls.
Well, yeah, they have 4 walls at their house.
Right, wherever they're at, right? I got a place, I got a Bible. Join my church.
There we go.
This is my church.
This is my yeah, and I think that's the important part right there. This is my church. It's my kingdom. It's my domain where I have all rule and authority.
Now, what's the big deal? Like, why can't somebody just go out and like plant a church? Like, there's lots of guys that, are gifted preachers. They probably could be very good pastors.
Yeah.
And they see that everybody else is doing it wrong, and they've figured out that they can do it right.
Here's the thing right there. Okay, I had actually 3 different things I was going to say, but I'm going to touch on this one first.
All right, go.
Just the fact that you said, all these other guys are doing it wrong and I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
To me, there's an arrogance and pride there that is underlying their desire to plant a church, which is an indicator that they should not be planting a church.
Totally. Yeah, and this is when I remember when Ed Stetzer was at Southern Seminary. Who? Ed Stetzer? Ed Stetzer is...
Eddie.
Yeah,
okay,
Eddie Spaghetti.
Sorry. Eddie Spaghetti,
yeah.
That's right. Eddie and I hang out. We just... All right, yeah. I don't call him Ed Stetzer. We don't have
you call him Eddie Spaghetti?
We call him Eddie Spaghetti.
I call him Special Ed. Anyways. Is he special?
He's very special. He's
a very
special individual.
You can buy our video interview with him on evangelism at our store. Go check it out. doctrineanddevotion.com.
$15. Can't beat that.
So
we are shameless.
I remember like all these guys at church planting was really start to pick up and take off. And Ed was the head of the Nehemiah Project. He was at Southern Seminary, all this church planting stuff. And guys would come in, and a lot of guys said like, "Hey, I want to go plant a church." And he's like, "Why?" Because everybody's doing it wrong. We need this kind of a church. We need a reformed church that's got this and that, and we want to have a missional, like whatever it was. And he was always telling people, "No way, I'm not interested in working with you on this." What he wanted to see were people who had a God-given burden to reach the lost with the gospel and make disciples, and who would have, some accountability to another local church.
Yes.
It wasn't giftedness alone, and that was enough. And it wasn't, definitely if they had this sort of, everybody's doing it right, everybody's doing it wrong, and I'm going to show them how to do it. Like this kind of anger or grievance-driven approach always results in failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always results in failure. So, yeah, so why is it important? Like we know people need to have this burden to reach the lost and to make disciples, right? That's the big picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
But why is it so important for there to be, say, a local church exercising protection, assistance, and oversight?
Well, and I think, like you said, their protection, right? I think that there's a danger for the pastor themselves, and I think there's a danger for the congregation.
Okay, so what kind of danger?
Well, I think one for the pastor, I think one is burnout. Without someone that's going to come alongside them and help bear the burden of planting this church. While they're doing it from a distance, but they're still part of it. Even with our church planters, I'm thinking of Tom Schmidt in Wheaton right now.
Naperville.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just said that.
That's a good one.
Huh?
Yeah, it's okay. You're not a church planter. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. But Tom Schmidt over at Naperville, he's killing it. He's doing a good job.
He is.
Great job.
Great job.
But he still, though, is accountable to the elders here and is still like, we review the budget. We review some of the things he's talking about as far as leadership development and who he's
we review his workload.
We review his workload and his schedule and what he's doing. And so part of that is just burnout and giving protection and bearing the burden with them and coming alongside them. But I also think it's protection for the church itself, because if the pastor is not accountable to anybody, especially before that they have a formal elder team, that pastor can be abusive and domineering. And I think we've seen that with spiritual members in other churches where there is no accountability, but where the top three are the only authority. And we see the abuse of the sheep themselves. And so another church leadership coming alongside provides that protection for the congregation.
Right. Yeah, that's really good.
As well as protection of doctrine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the other aspect to it, not just the physical abuse, but I think the spiritual abuse.
I mean, bottom line is we all need assistance. We all need accountability, and we need that in our local churches. And so we need it even more when we're starting another church, because it's so easy to go off the rails. It's easy to go off the rails with the congregation leadership because things are so new. You got to think outside of the box sometimes, because like you're coming up into situations that you haven't had to deal with when you were in an established church.
That's right.
So there are so many different variables when you're planting that are unique to planting that it's just a lot of opportunities to really blow it big time.
Absolutely.
So we need that kind of accountability and assistance, but also and not just for the planter, but for the planter's family, for the wife and all. We could talk about all of that. But this whole idea of planting today is pretty cool. Like, people seem to like it. It's really caught on. It's the trendy thing to do. But it still seems to me that most churches have no interest in actually planting another church. The vast majority don't seem to have that. Even if they talk about it, I know a lot of churches. I know churches in our network, the Acts 29 network. They'll talk a big game about planting churches,
but they're not actually doing.
They ain't planting no churches.
Well, I think
why don't people plant churches?
Now I'm going to sound really uncharitable, but I do want to.
You're going to sound like me.
Yeah, but I do want to say that I think this is I feel like this is a minor, or I don't feel like this is the vast majority of individuals, the reasons why they don't.
So some people.
All
you have to say is some people.
I know, but
that whole thing. Oh my
God! Let me say the things I want to say the way I'm going to say it. Some people. Stop it. Some people are.
You lost your train of thought there.
I did lose it, but some people, they don't want to lose the numbers. They're afraid of losing quality people.
Yeah.
And I think that there is this controlling nature to it. Is, well, what if they take the best?
Yeah.
Or even worse, what if they take the big givers?
Yeah. Right? Let me put it this way. I'll be less charitable, but more realistic. There's a whole lot more than some people that don't plant churches because of that. Because what do they say? They say, well, when we hit 200 people, then we'll start to plant. Or when we hit 500 people.
So they're waiting until that they're set and they're safe.
Yeah. That once we're safe, then we'll do it. It's all fear-based.
That's right.
And it's not that they can't do it. Listen, there are a couple of different ways that you can be involved in church planting. We're going to talk about those. But this idea, like, well, if we give away the people, or like if we only have 100 people and we send out a team to go and plant the church, what if we can't survive?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you don't take that into consideration. Of course, you've got to look at finances and all of that.
Yeah, be wise in the midst of it.
But I think the bigger issue is, are you prayerfully looking for the opportunity to make disciples through planting churches? Are you prayerfully? Because if you are prayerfully looking for that, and God says, here is a person in your church that you need to be training and raising up to go and to plant, then you know what you've got to do. It's right there before you. And then you start working through that process. And then when it comes time to send them out, you send them out. So when we send out our church planters, what we do is we say, we just did this with Tom. We said, all right, Tom, you have a sense of calling. We've investigated, we've assessed, we've gone through all the things. We think you're good to go. We put the plan together. He puts the plan together, Naperville, whole thing. And then how many people is he allowed to take from our congregation here at Redeemer Fellowship?
As many that will go.
5.
No,
He's only
we
allowed
never
5.
told him
He
5.
said 5.
We know. We said as many.
And only the D level members. No, not the C, not the B, not the A level.
He didn't call me.
No, you're lower than.
Oh, because I was F level.
Yeah, F level.
F level. I wasn't even worthy to.
No,
to
we
be
say,
part.
listen.
I might have went if Tom had asked. I'm just throwing that out there, Tom. I know you listen, but I wasn't good enough for you to.
You ain't fitting in Naperville.
What do you mean I ain't
Come on,
fitting in?
you ain't going to Naperville.
I can fit in Naperville.
I don't know about that.
What are you trying to say?
Naperville's known as a very snobby city. You're not snobby. You're very down to earth and cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
there you go.
I appreciate the way you worded that. Yeah, that's the part.
What?
He whispered to somebody else.
What? I didn't.
I can't even say it. I'm not going to say it.
So, anyways, we told Tom, listen,
Take whoever.
you're going to stand up here. You're going to stand up here a lot in front of this congregation.
Yep.
These are your people. They know you. You lead a community group here. They know you. They love you. You preach here. You stand
And
up.
that's what I was thinking. He was leading a community group in Wheaton.
That's right. He was. So you invite them all. You meet with every family here at Redeemer, and you set up a meeting and say, hey, I think you should come with me. And we said, go and do it. Now, listen, if he would have took 50% of our people, that would have been uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
it was already still uncomfortable because he took great people.
Oh man, he took awesome people.
He took some really good people.
All of the people that he took with him, that went with him. He didn't take them. All the people that God called to go with him.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They
That's
were
because
great people.
honestly, we have awesome people at our
We
church.
do,
really
but I, at some point I'm like, Tom, stop.
I know, man. He couldn't take you. He's taking like who did he take? Oh, the Storch. The Storch.
He took them.
Yeah, they're really good.
You know what? At that
The
point,
Winter Halters.
the Winter Halters, the Smiths.
Yeah. Oh.
Even though they left him, but either way, he took them.
Yeah.
From us.
And then Louisville took them from him.
Yes.
Payback, sucker.
Payback. That karma.
Yeah. Well, no, payback. Karma's pagan. Payback.
Okay.
Payback.
You reap what you sow. So now I just Jesusified it.
Oh, I like that. But you can't call it.
But it's okay then. I Jesusified it.
Okay. So yeah, we want to give people. You just gotta do it. And here's the thing: we found so I think he wound up taking 20-some people. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Those people were replaced immediately. Like it was so weird. And we're not a big church, 200 and something, and we're not a big church. And so when you take 20 people out, like you feel that, but our numbers actually didn't dip.
No,
they stayed steady. It was so weird. So I don't know. I think people need to get on into this and stop being so scared. 3 ways they can.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, I think there's other reasons why people aren't doing it.
Oh, let's talk about it.
And I think there's just there hasn't been enough education about it and how to do it. Right. Like I don't know if if some denominations and some networks have really coached well the leadership, and the leadership hasn't coached well the congregation on how this is done.
Well, think about the church plants that you hear of. Like the ones that you tend to hear of are the big successes.
Yes.
They launch with 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
They launch and they've got like hundreds of people showing up. And that's just not realistic for most people.
That's not the norm.
And so
if you're lucky to get 30 people to go with you.
So like think about I'm just thinking of well-known like local churches. This is not a dig. I'm just using it as an example. Mm-hmm. So Harvest Bible Chapel.
Yep.
When they plant a church, what they're able to do is they'll say, we've got a big radio market in this particular city. If we drop a church planter there, he's going to have an instant pull with a core group of people.
So, but hold on, that pull though is pulling from other churches.
I'm not talking. You're getting into critique. I wasn't getting into critique.
Though,
I'm just saying,
is that really church planting? Can you really call that church planting?
Well, technically,
if they're leaving other congregations to join yours, is that church planting?
It's like, you know what it is? It's like church cloning.
Okay, that's
Like
different.
cloning.
Church cloning, where Tom and Seth and Jamie, 3 of our church planters, have gone and they planted a church and they evangelized. And
they're doing that. Let's say Harvest is doing that too.
Okay, fine.
They're starting with a bigger core group.
If you're making a decision based upon
I don't like that
market
model.
value.
That's not my model. I don't like that model.
Well, okay. It's the McDonald model. McDonald and McDonald's. He's loving it.
All right. Anyway. So they see this big catalytic like event, and like what do you like, that's not possible. But when you like the way we plant churches, the way we planted this church is it's a handful of families, and it's slow, hard work.
Yeah.
But it's biblical and it's fun and it's fruitful, but it's hard. And when you realize like, no, this is really simple New Testament activity. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. And so I'm not saying it's wrong to plant big or to plant huge.
And that's why I want to kind of circle back to that and make sure like we're not just trying to. I hope people don't hear like
especially when Jimmy's talking
that we're bitter.
I'm not
because they've
Jimmy
had
sounds a little
easier
bitter.
time. I just don't like the model itself and the rationale. But if God's going to bless in that way, God's going to bless in that way. I prefer the way we do it.
Yeah, because it's better.
I'm persuaded. I'm persuaded.
No, I understand. You think we're better than everybody else.
Well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think
you
that this church
are
was a great...
that guy that you just said, like, oh, I'm going to go plant this church because nobody's doing it right.
I didn't
You're
plant
that
this
guy.
church.
No, but you're here and you have that attitude.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I do love my church.
By the way, one of the ladies at church
Yeah.
today, she just said, she's like, yeah, you guys argue a lot.
Yeah, we do.
The podcast.
It's you. I blame you.
I blamed you. I said, well, it's hard to not argue when it's Jimmy on the.
I know who it was.
Who was it?
Sarah Hauser.
Nope, you are wrong.
Ooh.
Loser.
Well, you said a lady today.
Yeah.
Jen.
Nope.
Well, there's Krista Brentforder.
Nope.
Shannon.
Nope.
Those are the only women that were there.
You wrong.
Andrea.
Nope.
Then I don't know.
I know. You don't know.
Krista. She wasn't.
Krista.
Yeah.
Brentforder?
Nope. No.
McDunn?
Anderson. Krista Anderson. What? That's it. I forgot. She wasn't in the room, but I know she was over here watching
Nobody
the kids.
cares about that.
I called it.
All
Hey,
right, so-
Krista, you know it's him. You know it's all Joe.
No,
it's always
knows.
Joe.
No.
All right, keep going, Joe. Please, can you stay on topic and maybe we could talk.
All right, we got 2 more podcasts to do.
I know.
Two more
So
episodes.
before we get to the 3 ways
Right.
of getting involved, someone's got some new books coming out March 7th.
Oh yeah, buy my books. Otherwise, I won't be able to.
We can't
smoke
do any more
cigars.
books, and no one's gonna. We can't do it if you don't buy it. Buy it.
All right, so I've got 3 books coming out. Some of you
They're
guys
great
know
books.
this.
I've already read them.
These are 3 books on ecclesiology, essentially. One's called The Heart of the Church, one's called The Character of the Church, and one's called The Life of the Church.
And it's being put out by Moody Publishers and For the Church
For the
over
Church
at
is the
Midwestern
imprint.
Baptist Theological Seminary.
ftc.co.
Go.
So anyways, these are books that I wrote because I love the local church and I want to help the local church be as focused and as fruitful as possible in a few key areas. And so, yeah, if you want to help your leadership focus in, if you want to train new members, these are books that could be really helpful. I think that they'll wind up reading rather devotionally.
You think so? I really do think that the leadership aspect of it is going to be really key for churches as part of your new member orientation, as well as your leadership development.
Right. But I just mean like when I'm writing them from an experiential perspective. Like these are truths that you should be experiencing. But yeah, essentially what you're getting in these 3 books is what I attempt to communicate to our people here during our orientation or membership class. So you can check them out. We've got a link here on the website. What is it? It's doctrineanddevotion.com/3books. You can check it out. You can pre-order them. Pre-order them now. That would help, like, get the word out.
Get that word out.
And I think there's going to be some kind of special deal. Speaking of Krista Anderson, there's going to be like a coffee. Buy my books, buy all 3, and you get some coffee that I like to drink. I'm drinking it right now. It's really good.
Oh, it's a cold brew? Oh, you're drinking the coffee?
I had that last night, though.
Yeah, that last night. I
couldn't go to sleep because I had so
over
much
at
cold
Fresh
brew.
Ground. Yeah, Fresh Ground's great.
Fresh Ground coffee. They roast their own coffee. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
All right. Anyway, so what were we talking about?
3 ways to get involved in church planting.
Before we get to that,
Okay.
any other reasons why people don't do it? Real quick, reasons people don't plant churches?
I think lazy.
They're lazy. They're scared.
They're
We
scared.
talked about that.
Uneducated.
They're ignorant. They're dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm not
That's what
trying to
you're
say like
saying.
that. They just haven't been taught.
No, they just don't know.
I think denominations and networks haven't done a good job of casting the vision. That's the word I want to use. Casting vision to the church.
Casting.
Yeah, to the leadership.
DC.
And the leadership hasn't done a good job casting that vision to the people. And that's something I think we've done, you've done, and the leadership here has done really well.
Yeah.
Even at our
Pretty good.
membership orientation is we're not about getting 400, 500, 600 people. Well, when we get to a certain place or at any moment, we're ready to.
Yeah, we're always going to plan.
We're always going to plan.
So, and then I think one other reason is some people don't buy into it. They think this whole idea of church planting.
They don't like the idea of a small church.
Oh no, I'm saying
that
that some
way.
people don't buy into the idea of church planting here. Like you go where there are no churches, and then it's okay. But locally, they just don't really like the idea.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right, 3 ways you guys can get involved in church planting.
Yep.
All right.
Go.
And I'm going to alliterate this. I'm going to Baptist this.
Oh, really? Like
here we go.
Like the 3 P's of planting.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. I'm going to say, I think I've done this before. You can promote. Right?
Yep.
So you promote church planting. Start from the pulpit. Start in your programs or your bulletins. Start in your community groups. You can promote church planters by using your denominational resources or by connecting with other local church plants.
Yep.
You can have those church planters come in and preach for you.
Yep.
You can have a fellowship. There's all kinds of ways that you can promote. So promote church planting. That's really good. Number 2, you can partner. Oh, you can partner with church plants. So
partner in that participation.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to. You don't have to actually be planting, but you can support a church planter financially. Your church can do this.
Maybe a church plant in Louisiana.
I know a guy in Louisiana. He's planting a church. How old is that church now? Oh, he's fine. Don't worry about him.
He's fine. Third year. You should be fully funded now.
What's the name of your church, Dexter? Revival Life Church. So in Nolens. Homa.
But near New Orleans.
South of Nolens. All right.
Nolens. And we're going to go fishing. I want to go fishing.
I ain't going fishing.
I ain't going. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Dexter.
Okay, Dexter invited me. I don't want to go.
Dexter was just inviting you out of courtesy.
All right. So you can promote. You can participate, right, by partnering, supporting financially, and you can plant, right? You can actually raise up people to send out. It's easier than you think. It's incredibly hard. It's actually impossible apart from the grace of God, but His grace is available in abundant measure for every church. You can do it. So at least promote and partner, and everybody can be involved. There are so many people that are planting churches, trying to reach people, and you can't have enough churches. If you're one of those territorial pastors or churches like, we don't want a church plant in our town, you are lame, okay? Because you cannot possibly reach all of the people or half of the people or a third of the people in your city.
That's right.
So the more churches, the better.
I think that just reflects a heart right there of
they hate Jesus and they hate.
That's it. You're not really caring. You're not really caring for the glory of God and the salvation of unbelievers. You care about building your own brand, your own kingdom, your own empire.
Cool.
So, Joe, can you give us another?
No, that's it. 3 Ps.
3 Ps?
That's it.
You did. What were the 3 Ps? I think I missed one.
Yeah, because I know you're playing on your phone again.
Okay.
I said that you can promote, you can partner, or you can plant.
Gotcha. Yes.
There we go.
Now, tell us about you have experience church planting.
Yes.
It's not easy.
It's all right.
Tell us about church. Tell us about your experience.
I don't know, man.
You
You rent a gym and you preach and people show up and boom, it's easy.
All right, stop it.
That's what you do.
Come on now.
All right, so we planted a church, and first of all, I never say that I planted a church. At least I try never to say that because I didn't. And I'm not just speaking idealistically. I mean, I'm not saying like Jesus planted the church. Okay, obviously. What I am saying is that it was a team of people. I am not cut out. I'm not entrepreneurial. In fact, when Acts 29 gave me the test, I had to take this big 829 assessment. 829 assessment is brutal. And so they take all these tests, and one of them is an entrepreneurial test. And I can't remember the numbers now, but you need to get a 55 on this entrepreneurial test.
Okay, so that would be probably like a C.
No, well,
or maybe a D.
It doesn't work that way.
Passing.
It doesn't work that way.
I'm just saying, if we were to evaluate you,
I'll be real.
All right,
55 is that you got to get that.
That's passing.
You've got to get that.
That's just passing.
If you get a 53, they're like, oh.
Exactly. So 55 is like a D minus.
All right. So no, it doesn't work that way.
It has to be.
No,
because 55
most
is
guys
level.
get the 55. So it doesn't quite work that way. But they don't like lower.
Okay.
So now I've been assessing. I assessed tons of people in 829 after I got in.
Yep.
I got the lowest assessment score for entrepreneurialism out of anybody I've ever seen. I've never seen a 50. Ever. Never seen a 45. I got a 36. I am anti-entrepreneurial.
Well, yeah, because there's organization there. There's vision there.
No.
There's there's structure.
No, you don't know.
Scheduling.
You don't know why I got it.
No, I know why you got it.
I got that low score and I went, ooh, let me take it again. So I took it again and I tried to answer more enthusiastically, like how I think an entrepreneur would answer it. Same score. You can tell. You can tell I was playing. So anyways, we and by me, I mean it was Pastor Pat.
Yep.
Elder candidate Rob.
Yep.
And me and our spouses.
Wait, elder candidate Rob?
Yeah.
And how long was this?
Well, he wasn't an elder candidate back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was the first church plant.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
Grace
gotcha,
Baptist Church.
gotcha.
So we three families came together and we planted Grace Baptist Church, and we went from 6 people to 60. A third of our people were new converts. Things were going really well. It's a whole story for another time. But
Well, no, I think this is the time.
You want me to tell this story?
Because it's church planting.
all right, I don't know what time.
Yeah, you got time.
All right. So we planted this church. A third of our people were new converts, and things were going pretty well.
Come on, make it faster.
Oh, see, I hate you so much.
Keep going, sorry.
Well, we hit about 60. We
Yeah.
constituted, we became our own self-supporting church. We had elders, the whole thing. And we lost our way. We lost our vision.
And this was over in Elburn.
Yeah, this was like in the mid-aughts.
Gotcha.
So we kind of lost our way, lost our vision. That's on me. And we stopped growing. We stopped reaching people. And we became very inwardly focused.
Yeah, and I want to kind of add something there. I remember hearing from you when we talked about this, the importance of vision in this for all you church planters. You had mentioned about if you don't set the vision and clarify the vision and maintain the vision, you're going to have all these other competing visions that everyone wants, and you can't move forward as one.
Right. If you don't clarify the vision and keep the vision, you're going to crush the vision. See, I just Baptist that?
That was so good.
I just Baptist that.
That was really good. Go.
All right. Well, I had a great vision. I felt like I had a very clear vision for our church plant, but not a clear vision for the church once we became established.
Gotcha.
And we all just became very inwardly focused, and we stopped reaching people, gotten tired. Truth is, we planted in this small town called Elburn. We didn't reach one family from Elburn. The only people from Elburn that came to our church plant were the people that moved there, like Rob and Pat. Mm-hmm. Everybody that we reached were coming from different cities. So I got some good coaching. We weren't in Acts 29 at the time. I got some good coaching. Thanks, Ed Stetzer. And I got a bunch of help. We really figured things out. We repented of our inward orientation. And we decided we needed to relocate and relaunch with a fresh vision. So we were going to relocate to where we are now and relaunch. And in the process of figuring that out, we decided to do this with our parent church, which was even smaller than our church plant, and restart as Redeemer Fellowship.
Yeah.
So that's the basic story. So our first church plant failed.
And that happens often.
Yeah. And our second church plant, Redeemer Fellowship, has succeeded by the grace of God. And I'll tell you what, Uncle Rob, I call him Uncle Rob Warford, who helped us to plant the first and the second church. He's the guy that shared the gospel with me when I was lost back in the day. And Rob's mentality is, and he was a garbage man. He still is, but he works at a transfer station now. Rob and his wife's mentality, Pastor Pat and his wife's mentality was when they were volunteering at the church plant, they considered it a part-time job. And they tell people all the time, if you can't look at it as a part-time job for which you do not get paid, if you can't look at it as a part-time job in terms of you're going to be putting in that many hours
for a church plant to get going and get started,
then you ain't going to make it happen.
You're not going to make it.
It's a lot of work and a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of work, and we learned from a lot of mistakes that we made. Most of the things that I learned by screwing up first time around. And I was much more careful second time around. So this is why it's so important for people that are interested in church planting to be a part of a church planting church so that they can learn and see what it looks like, how it actually unfolds, what the dangers are. If you can do an internship or a residency at a church where they do church planting, you're going to be far more successful than if you just go out on your own. You're more than likely going to crash and burn like just about everybody else that does it that way. All right, church planting.
Church planting.
All right.
So just remember, guys, March 7th, Joe's 3 new books come out. March 11th, conference on confessional piety.
Confessional Piety with Jim the Man Renahan.
Jim the Man Renahan. So you can grab both of those.
Listen, you guys better register because people are signing up.
People are signing up.
First 200 are going to get the free stuff.
That's it.
After that, you get nothing.
So, So head on over to the website. Big thanks to Justin Bond of jbondmedia.com, the audiovisual wizard of doctrine and devotion. If you got any audiovisual photography needs, hit up jbondmedia.com and he will hook you up. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Doc and Devo and on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head on over to the website, click on the Contact Us page. You can hit up the sign up page where you can sign up for our email blast, where you get blog posts, you stay up to date, and special new content.
You guys got to get on the, listen,
Just for email
Sign
subscribers.
up for the email thing because we are going to be releasing things that you will only get through email. You're not going to get it if you're not on the email list.
That's it.
Because we're not going to put it on the blog.
Nope.
We're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Nope.
So if you want the goods, and we got some stuff dropping, free. So you better get on it. Fresh Pod every Monday and Thursday. See ya.
Later.